attacks, and that's going to determine how we can follow up. So broadly speaking, we're going to look to see if Jed's keeping his elbow tight to his body or loose. This is going to basically mean one of two things. If his elbow is tight, and I pull on this, notice how he'll take a step forward. Versus if his elbow is loose, I can't really make him take a step forward realistically, but there's a lot of space, and it's very easy for me to manipulate his arm. So let's first go over a situation in which his elbow is tight to his body and how we can use this to start setting up various wrestle ups and off balancing our opponent from a seated position. So again, we're on our left hip. If he keeps his elbow tight, I can look to time this step. And so as Jed looks to step, I can hook and then start looking to extend. And either it'll lead to an off balance or I can put him down to a hip. So if we look to, ideally when we do this, I'm not looking to just go here and kick. Right? Because this is just going to mean that he pummels his leg out. It might be mildly annoying for him, but it's not threatening or off balancing at all. However, in a situation, I'm waiting for him to step, and once I feel like weight's coming down on the foot, I'm extending out to start putting him down to the hip. So understanding that in order to actually off balance an opponent with this foot sweep esque motion, he has to be putting weight down on the foot. If there's no weight, so back to the right leg, I'll take this off the ground. Right? Just don't put any weight on it. I can move this leg all I want. He's not going to be off balance because all of his weight's on his opposite leg. This does mean that we can start looking to attack this leg if he's being very annoying with this and it's hard for us to off balance this. But a lot of the time when you're forcing a step, so his elbow's tight, forcing a step, his foot's going to come down eventually. And we're basically just waiting till his foot comes down and then we're able to start looking to break him down to a hip. Don't expect your opponent to just stay down when you break him down to a hip. Because realistically, people aren't going to just want to give you a sweep. They're not, okay, you put my butt to the ground, I'm going to stay down. People are going to look to high stuff, right? So from here, and tight, right? From here, I'm just knocking down. But this is a great opportunity for us to start looking to get to a wrestling position, right? Because he's out of balance, a lot of his defenses aren't going to be there. So it's going to be much easier for us to get to a quick shot and then down. So obviously you can think of this in different stages. So come here, I knock him down, right? If I heist up the moment his hips hit the ground, this is going to be very easy for me to hold. Right from here, controlling the leg of his hip he's on, and then I can start looking to heist up. Understanding that if we want to sweep someone from here, usually people are going to heist off of one hip, right? People aren't going to be square on their hips and look to stand up. They're going to be on their right hip or their left hip. If I want to keep them down, I ideally want to control the leg of whichever hip they're on. So Jed's on his right hip, I'm going to control his right leg. Notice when I control his right leg, when he looks to heist up, he can basically only heist to the height of his knee. As opposed to if I were to control the opposite leg, he can heist all the way to his feet. And from here, this isn't inherently bad for me, but I'm having to work more than if I had controlled the opposite leg. So just understanding this idea, so that I'm basically looking, so if I come back here, yeah. I'm looking to see, once I start pulling and keeping him down, to see which hip he's on and then control the leg in which the leg that's connected to that hip. A lot of the times it's going to be very difficult, right? Even if I'm breaking down a hip, he comes back up, he pops back up, but now this is going to give us good opportunities to shoot. Right from here, probably my favorite attack is as he's coming up, I go for a cross knee pull, and then I use my heel on the mat to pull myself into a kneeling position, like this. And then from here, I'll switch my knees and look to switch to the outside. And from here, I can start working, trying to keep his hands on the mat, or start working for rear body lock. If Chen looks to stand up and continue to face me, it's very easy for me to continue into my single legs. So once again, from here, his elbow is tight to his body, I'm pulling. I can look to off balance him. I'm looking to control the bottom leg. If I can, wonderful, I've gotten 2 points. However, if I don't do this in time and Jen pops back up, I go for a knee pull, right heel on the mat, pulling myself up, and I'm making sure to swing around. So notice how I'm looking at in the opposite direction as Jen right now, but I'm going to switch my knees so that towards the end of this, now we're looking in the same direction. As I switch, I'm going to look to take my left hand from the knee pull to the ankle, so I'm off balancing him. As opposed to if I didn't go to the ankle, from here I'm staying here, it's easy for him to start implementing wizards and start looking to face me, right? Yeah. And now he's going to look to defend. This isn't bad for me by any means, but he's going to be able to give me more resistance. As opposed to if I transition down to the ankle, where watch how his hands go to the mat. From here it's going to be a much easier job for me to actually either put him down or get to a scoring position. Does that make sense? So from here you can look to either lift his foot up, take his hands to the mat, you can either break him down. If he manages to build up, right, maybe start continuing for another takedown. We won't go into too much depth here, but we'll go over finishing in just a second. But for the time being, let's work on this foot sweep and either holding them down or if they pop back up, going into the knee pull. I'll do that one more time. Here, the 2 and 1, he breaks. Good. He's keeping his elbows tight so I can pull. Break him down. Grab the ankle. From here, I can either, if I'm control of the ankle, keep him down. Or, if as I've done this, he does a good job of popping up, right? Right? I feel like that's visible. I go knee pull, I switch my knees, take his foot off the mat. From here, we can start looking to keep his hands on the mat by using this rear double leg. So now when Jed looks to take his hands off, very difficult, and now he starts rotating to rear body lock. Any questions? If you need any help, feel free to ask me.